Hello, we are going to see now several theories and models of interpersonal communication mediated by technology, which will help us to understand the communication process. Specifically, we are going to see two theories, the theory of social presence and the theory of the wealth of means, which with the aim of identifying the mechanisms that explain the adequacy of the different tools to the pursued goal in the communication process that we are going to put in motion. And we start with the theory of social presence. The social presence refers to the degree to which the presence of participants in communication is perceived, that is, to what extent the participants are aware that they are communicating with another person. When we use technology, electronic media, how do we create awareness of personal interaction if we do not see our interlocutors? The theory of social presence maintains that communication tools differ in the ability to transmit the psychological perception that other people are present, really present, due to the different capacity of the media to transmit visual and verbal signals and nonverbal signals, physical distance, gaze, facial expressions, tone of voice, etc. Some media, for example, video conferencing or the telephone, transmit more social presence than others, such as email. According to this theory, the media with more social presence are more effective for relational communication, that is, to build and maintain interpersonal relationships. While the media based on text, such as email, which do not transmit images or nonverbal signals, are therefore more effective for communication centered on tasks. In the teams that work remotely, it is very important to establish that social presence to facilitate cohesion and the feeling of belonging. How do we demonstrate that we are willing to form a relationship, to be part of the team? By using the communication tools, we have to take care of aspects such as kindness, closeness, the speed with which we respond, or even the language we use. And the ability to combine tools, for example, the tool video conferencing with the chat, can help us to improve and increase that social presence and contribute in this way to the fact that, despite the distance, emitter and receiver feel that social presence. As the communication channels, the tools that we are using in the communication process, transmit the feeling of presence, different studies have shown that the satisfaction perceived by the participants in the communication process is greater. And now we move on to another theory, the theory of the wealth of media. This theory maintains that the media differ in their ability to facilitate the understanding of the message. According to this theory, the wealth of information is the ability of the media to change the understanding of the receiver of the message in a certain time interval. Thus, what differentiates the wealthiest tools from the poorest is the amount of information that they can transmit to change that perception of the receiver in a time interval. This ability depends on several factors, such as the ability to transmit multiple clues, the immediacy of the information, and the variety of the language that allows us to use. According to this theory, the face-to-face interaction is the wealthiest tool due to its ability to transmit the message using multiple clues at the same time, through the verbal and nonverbal language, and therefore, it facilitates the understanding of the participants in the communication process in a shorter time interval. The second wealthiest medium is video conferencing because, although it still allows the use of natural language and some visual and nonverbal signals, it transmits less nonverbal signals to the participants. Email, chat, and letters are simpler mediums because, when they are adopted, the communication that the participants exchange is transmitted through a single channel, the written text. In fact, the theory of the wealthiest media postulates the existence of two complementary forces that act on the participants when processing the information exchanged when communicating. One force is the uncertainty, which is defined as the difference that exists between the amount of information we have and the amount necessary to carry out a given task. That is, as the amount of information increases, the uncertainty decreases. The uncertainty is therefore reduced by obtaining additional data and looking for answers to explicit questions. The other force is ambiguity, that is, the existence of multiple and contradictory interpretations in a given situation. As the uncertainty is more related to the amount of information available, the ambiguity is more related to the quality of the available information. Ambiguity reflects confusion and lack of common understanding, while uncertainty means the absence of the necessary data to process the information properly. These two forces allow us to classify the communication situations in such a way that, by identifying what situation we are in, we can determine what actions we should take and, from there, we should select the most suitable communication tool in each case. For example, in the most complex situation of high ambiguity and high uncertainty, characterized by poor information and poor quality, we should prepare the communication process by defining questions to be asked, looking for explicit answers, gathering data that allows us to have the sufficient amount of information to achieve the pursued goal. In addition, we should exchange opinions to reduce ambiguity and get a correct interpretation of the exchanged information. The existence of these two complementary forces has, therefore, implications in the selection of the most effective tool in each case. Rich media are more suitable in wrong communication situations, in which there are multiple, even contradictory, interpretations of the available information, and this ambiguity can cause disagreements, and therefore providing clarifications can reduce it. On the other hand, poorer media are more suitable in uncertain communication situations in which there is a lack of information. Thus, the uncertainty can be reduced if additional information is obtained using media such as email or written reports. In summary, the theory of the wealth of media proposes that the performance, the effectiveness of the communication process improves when the needs of the task are adjusted to the capacity of the tool used to transmit information. It should be noted, however, that a new amount of data can generate ambiguity, and that wrong scenarios may need additional data to converge. And to conclude, here you have an additional bibliography regarding this to complete information.